up, everybody? We are Reality Roommates again with another episode. I'm here with my co-host.
What's good, Reality Roommates? It's your boy Willie.
What up? What up? It's IV. Happy to be here. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Yup, and it's another Thursday, which means eviction night, except this week was no HOH, was no veto, was no eviction, none of that, nomination, none of that stuff happened. It was a clear-cut week, and there was two evicted house guests who had a chance to reassemble their game, being Corey. No, I lied, not Corey. Being
Cameron and Jared.
Because they both start with C.
Yeah.
Corey, Cameron, it just always messes me up.
Cameron and Jared, man.
And Jared, being Cameron and Jared, and they both had to fight for their spot. Now, the first competition, I believe we already discussed this a little bit on the last episode.
Yeah, we
If you
did.
haven't seen the last episode, what are you doing? Go watch our last episode and then come back here. Doesn't matter if you watch live feeds or this and that. Go watch our last episode and then come here so we can discuss one-on-one, right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
All right.
Cameron and Jared, they both are competing to re-enter the game. And as we previously discussed, Cameron wins this, right? Jared is going way too fast. He's dropping balls left and right. And
Way too
while
fast.
Cameron is, I really like how Cameron is strategic, also very patient, also very intelligent. Like he's just all of the above for a big brother player. And that's
sure.
something because, like, man, his patience is off the charts. Whatever he reads the situation requires, he just does it. He instantly just does it. He adapts to whatever needs to be done to win the game. And, yeah, the competition happens, and, hey, Cameron wins. How do you guys feel about Cameron winning that competition, therefore putting having the choice to either have Jared play a competition or have himself play in a competition? How do you guys feel about that?
I kind of expected Cameron to win. He's shown throughout this season that he is a strong competitor in competition.
Very strong character. Yeah.
Once it was up to him to compete, I figured that he was that competitive type of person that's going to put the fate in his hands, and he proved that was the right decision in the long run. Sad to see Jared go, as much as I'm sure the internet is celebrating Jared's demise. Still sad to see him walk out the house, but Cameron is also one of my favorite players this season too. I must admit, he is just an agent of chaos, and I'm all about the chaos in the house. So I'm happy to see and looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to the table now.
Absolutely. What do you feel about it?
Cameron he's a beast, man. He's a competitor. He's a beast. He went out there. He proves time and time again that he's clutch. He's a clutch BB player. Gets it done. I mean, we can't act like it wasn't a tie the first round, and then Jag gave him some tips, and then he ended up like wiping Jared. So I'm kind of wondering if Jag didn't say anything, if it would have been like a really good battle there instead of just like a landslide at the end. But yeah, nonetheless, Cameron, he's a beast, man. Beast. It's scary to see what he's gonna do to these house guests the next couple weeks, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with you guys, obviously.
Killer Cam.
Yeah, Killer Cam it's going to be very interesting to see him come back. We're going to discuss more on, him overall staying inside the house compared to Jared. But for now, let's talk about the resurrecting he's trying to do within the game. He's trying to really have a connection with the house guests now, rebuild himself, which I believe is super smart. He begins with, honestly, the two perfect people to make an alliance with, Jag and Matt. Yes, Jag and Matt. And they bring Blue along. And honestly, overall, I just think it's a smart plan for him. I think they're trustworthy. I like that he didn't go to Corey in America, being that they can be liabilities at times, as well as they've already created a storm. As he came into the house, they already have a storm, with Jared and people kind of mad that, not people mad that he got out Jared, but more so that he was the one facilitating it. Now he looks more like a threat. Cameron just overall smart.
He's the aggressor of the house.
Yeah. So Cameron's just smart for the people who he's aligning himself with, and I could see them truly trusting each other. But mainly, what I'm excited for is the fact that the Minutemen, Jag and Matt are both in such a great position because they're creating that onion layer that we talk about in previous episodes. That onion layer that will take them to the end. Honestly, you have
Yeah,
you have Blue or Cameron that could be disposable at any time.
Mhm.
So they're going to be protected by both. Cameron being a huge threat. Even when they get looked at, Cameron's going to be known as, yo, Cameron first, because Cameron's been winning like crazy. And then, Blue, they can just toss Blue to whatever direction, just the the metaphorical bullets. So I think it's definitely a smart idea. On all sides, honestly, it benefits Cameron. Cameron can finally recover and breathe a little
yeah,
bit. Blue can she doesn't have Jared anymore, so she needs some brute force to win some competitions for her and keep her safe. And then the Minutemen, they have that onion layer of when people do target them, who they get out first, most likely. So, yeah, it,
yeah.
it
It
benefits
benefits all of
everybody.
them.
It benefits all of them.
Yeah,
Obviously, the Minutemen it benefits most, but overall, how do you guys feel about Cameron going to the house and aligning himself with them? Willie, we'll start with you.
perfect. He's thinking long term, like Jared should have been. Jared was just all so emotional. Cam, he could have been emotional. He could have played
Yeah,
that emotional game,
yeah.
but he decided no. I need people to work with because he was very confident that he was going to win and come back into the house. So he's like, yo, I need people to work with. Let me go look for them. And he found a perfect. He found Matt and Jag,
Actually,
people who've proven to be loyal. And that's pretty much all Cam asked for, to be honest. Just somebody loyal. So he got that. And it's smart for the Minutemen because now they have a comp beast on their side. They have a comp beast on their side. They have basically one of the most sought out people in the house, Cameron. They have him on his side. He could win comps for them. And they know that they're not going to be put on the block because Cameron, they built a relationship. And Blue is really just a number for them. I don't think they're going to count on Blue to win any comps or anything, but just a good number for them. So honestly, it just benefits all of them. Perfect. Cameron played it perfect.
good point.
Um, yeah, solid move by Cameron. Um, you guys said a lot of the major points here, but yeah, I think it's very smart for him to align with Matt and Jag, and I think they have the potential. If things fall in place, they might have the potential to really do some damage as a trio here when it comes to competitions. Because I mean, all three of them have already won previous competitions. And let's also be clear here: out of the competitors this season, only two competitions have been won by women this
Mm.
far.
Yeah, Felicia kind of pointed it out.
These three have a chance at doing some damage if the competitions prove to continue to go the way of the men. Um, and they could potentially steamroll things. I think the only thing that's in their way is if Corey or America wins this next HOH, things might shift because I'm pretty sure a Corey and America, they're just going to go after Cameron or they'll go after Sheree maybe, but more so Cameron. So at that point, I don't believe that Matt and Jag would stay with Cameron, depending on who's the person on the block with him, unless it's a Blue or who knows. So we'll see how things go, but I definitely think it's a smart team up. It's also very smart for Matt and Jag to have this alliance on the side that nobody knows about because as we've seen on this episode, they don't trust Matt. I mean, they don't trust Corey in America. And yeah, I don't think they should either. So very smart.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they should lay low. Like next week, they shouldn't go for the HOH,
Who's that?
so they don't have to. Matt and Jag, because if they
I,
win HOH, they're gonna have to show their cards.
I
Yeah.
actually think the opposite. I think you do win an HOH because right now the house is very it's open as far as like who's going to be the next power structure in this house, right? Because the power structure is kind of up for grabs. The next HOH, I think, is very important to kind of set the precedence on who is in control. If Corey or America win, that's going to set them up for the end game. Because immediately as you win HOH, you're going to have people float to you like moths to a light bulb. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they're going to consolidate power if they win HOH. So I think this is the perfect time for Matt to step out there and win HOH because you're immediately going to get people like Mimi, Felicia, these people that you don't necessarily have anything with. You being HOH and deciding not to put them up is immediately going to kind of put these people on your side a little bit.
But you are drawing a line with Corey in America.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
have everyone against them. So I'm going to put one of you up, one of you goes home, and now it's only one of you left. Now, if you get unlucky and they win HOH the next week, sucks. But right now, you got to
See,
gamble.
there's a chance that they get unlucky, but if they don't win at all, nobody's really looking at Matt Jack.
Very true. But I just don't want the offshoot of Corey in America wins. And now, when you want to take that shot at them, you can't because everybody's with them.
That's actually a very, very good point.
I,
I actually didn't think about it like that.
Because when it's time to take the shot, you have to have people willing to vote them out. And if people are like all against you because they were the previous HOH and they made whatever deals in that HOH room that you weren't part of.
Then again, I was just about to agree with you until I thought of Cirie is not going to vote with Corey no matter what. Even taking out the whole he's my son thing, people know that they were closely aligned regardless, and she did not want him out. So Cirie is definitely not going to vote with Corey in America no matter what. And with that comes Felicia, and with Felicia comes Nicole.
In Cirie, yes, they've repatched things, but how close are they?
That is true.
Person who doesn't forget.
That is true, but with Matt, Blue, Corey, Cameron, and Cirie, that's already 5 versus what Bowie, and then Bowie James gonna follow Cameron, so that's 6 versus the rest versus who? Corey, America, and then who else?
We'll have to see how it crumbles.
But
it's one of those situations where we'll have to see.
Go either way.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
But speaking of Corey in America, anyways, Corey in America, they tried to make an alliance with Felicia and Nicole, which I thought was really odd, unexpected, which can be a benefit because, no one would see it coming. But at the same time, I was like, man, I'm not really feeling this. And Matt was actually reading Corey's lips, not even his lips. He was reading his body language.
Yeah.
He was reading his body language simply because, and I would imagine he's had to read this in other people before in his life, which is when people are trying to say something about him or somewhat about him or something, some type of information that they're trying to hide, they tend to cover their mouth while they're speaking and because they know that he can read mouths very well. That's kind of that's the thing he does, So right. Seeing Corey kind of like cover up his mouth a little was kind of funny. How do you guys feel about Corey trying to align with Nicole and Felicia? And you guys could chime on Matt's, keen sense of sight.
I feel like it makes sense. It did make sense why Corey was like, oh, maybe we should just try to maybe work something with them. Well, like Felicia and Mimi. It makes sense why he was thinking like that. But my question is, why so out in the open, like in the backyard, where like people can hear or people can see? It's like, I don't know, why not do it privately? So he kind of set himself up for that. But I get what he was doing, though. At that point, that stage of the game, it makes sense to have like alliances all over. But like, you don't just do it out in public like that. I've never seen people talk game publicly like that in the backyard with 2 other people. So it's like, and then you try to cover up your lips when Matt kind of knows how to read lips. And if you're trying to cover up your lips, he knows that you're trying to you don't want him to know what you're saying. So it's like, he didn't think that through at all. That didn't make no sense.
Yeah. None. Yeah. So it's time to unpack. Let's see here.
Let's see.
Like Willie just said, I completely agree with him. You got to move better.
Yeah.
You're trying to have game talk in the common areas. Crazy. And
then insane.
Like, at this point, they should all know Matt fairly well. So the fact that you're trying to cover your mouth and think that he's gonna just let that float over his head, bad move.
Crazy.
And he
sloppy.
He looked like he was trying to make it seem like he was just covering his mouth naturally, but it did not look natural whatsoever. I mean, you had to be blind to not read the body language there. You didn't have to just be deaf. You had to be blind not to peep it. And to talk about the alliance that he's trying to create with Felicia and Mimi, I don't believe for a second that Mimi buys into it. Now, not Sheree, but Felicia, she might be buying what they're selling. Very well might
Mm.
be. But I don't believe Mimi will, and I think Mimi will probably talk some sense into Felicia if Felicia does buy into it. I think Corey is a very bad salesman, and I think it only works with individuals who are already maybe socially like him. So, like, like Matt, the frat thing maybe kind of works with Matt and Jag or whatever, but it's not going to work on a Mimi. You got to come better. Maybe you should have let America do the talking. Not sure, but I feel like they saw right through it, especially Mimi. So I don't think that thing is real at all. But then let's go to Matt here. We said from the beginning, from when Matt was casted, that would potentially be a superpower of his that could take him far in this game, and it's proven to be true. It's proven to be really correct with how well he happens to be doing right now, where everybody wants to work with him.
Yep.
I think that was a dead giveaway to Matt, obviously, that Corey is not for him. He immediately peeped what Corey was doing about having something on the side and making sure his butt was covered.
Yeah.
And Matt is proving to be really, really, really playing the game. And I think we might be looking at a potential member of the final three here. I don't know who's going to make it with him, but I think we might be looking at a guy who's going to be in the final three. So this is very interesting to see. He's moving Murdoch. I don't know if y'all know Daredevil.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Daredevil.
No superpower
comparison
to the highest ability, and it's working for him. So shout out to Matt Murdock, man. He's killing it. I think he's in a beautiful position in this game, and I'm glad Corey got caught. Y'all, if y'all been listeners for a while now, y'all know I'm rooting against Corey. So it was.
Hey, I'm rooting against Corey too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, sir. So,
but Matt's showing that you can make it far in this game by playing honest. He's been playing a real honest game.
Yeah, that is true. But also just staying out the way, because I feel like whenever there's a fight happening or argument, he kind of just stays out the way and just stays true to what he believes. He's not trying to switch sides too much. It's mainly just going the course with people who are the most authentic to me. So
true. Yeah, he's honest, real honest game.
So honestly, I would love to have him as a winner, or him or Jag. They just been playing such authentic games. But let's start going to the competition that this whole week has been leading up to, which is Jared versus Cameron, the final battle to see who gets inside the house. And the competition is essentially, since Cameron won the first competition, he has the choice to have Jared play in this difficult competition or have himself play in this difficult competition. And he can choose to leave it in his own hands and, get the ball in his hands, or have Jared take a stab at this competition. Now, this competition was a 3-minute competition to where you have to balance a ball on a beam and have to get it inside a hole, it was like a person framing with a hole in their hand, and you have to get the ball inside on the balance beam. And we saw Cameron choose to actually put the ball in his hands and do it himself, and he won within 3 minutes. He did drop the ball once, which was like, damn, yo, you have a minute left. But then he still came
got
up
dicey,
clutch.
man.
He came up clutch, man. Killer Cam once again. How do you guys feel about Cameron winning, going inside this house, and really making, I would say he really made a statement for himself in Big Brother history, honestly. Just the fact that his back keeps getting against the wall, and he's so slippery. He's slithering his way out every single time. How do you guys feel about that? Ivan, we'll start with you.
I mean, he is going, no matter what people think of Cameron, he's becoming one of those players that you're going to remember seasons from now. Block multiple times from the very beginning. He's been on this block since week 2, and he consistently has figured out how to not get voted out. And he was on the block during those weeks, as you guys know, where they were flip-flopping like crazy on who they were going to vote out.
Crazy.
He was on the crosshairs so many times, and he somehow figured out how to get off this block, how to survive evictions back to back. It's crazy, dude. To see him win the comp, first off, when he dropped that ball, I really thought it was over for him. Like, no doubt, I thought he was done. He and a lot of other players, when that ball would have dropped, they would have, I think nerves would have took over and they would have lost. You know what I'm saying? We saw what happened with Caitlin back in BB20, you know. So he kept his resolve, still managed to, get the ball in place, win the game, win the comp. And I think we're looking at another guy potentially, especially with the way this week has played out on the feeds. People aren't really talking about, as soon as we get HOH, put up camera. Not that many people saying that type. People are more so willing to work with him. Hey, if you get back in this house, let's, we see what's going on with Matt and Jag. He's even had conversations with Sari. So I think he's in a really good place coming back in the house, and that's not usually the case. When people win a battle back, usually we see what happens. They're still a target for the next week, But I think Cameron, he's kind of proven to be that kind of guy. Like you said, he's slippery. He's slipping right back into the middle of things, and we might be looking at a guy who's not on the block this coming week. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't manage to get on the block this coming week, then I have a strong feeling Cameron might make it to the final three. But he has to – the key for Cameron right now is he has to manage to survive this coming week without getting on the block at all. Because if he gets back on the block –
it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, because if he gets back on the block this week, then he's kind of
going to be –
yeah, it kind of sets the tone of like, just throw Cameron up, So if he can manage to get away from that or even better, win HOH, it's a new game for Cameron right now.
100%.
I agree. I think the reason why he's not an immediate threat, like at least coming into next week, is because he played the cards right. He was calm. He was working on building relationships like you should have. Yeah. Jared, I don't know why he wasn't thinking like that, but it is what it is. He's out the house now. But like Cameron, he really just like, okay, I got to think about the future. So he set himself perfectly to like not be like just number one target in the house like he's been in the past. But when it comes to that comp though, man, clutch, man. I kind of thought it was over after he dropped the first ball, but then I looked at the time and I was like, he still has like a minute and a half left. Like he has way too much time. Honestly, I thought this comp was kind of easy. 3 minutes, like that's kind of easy.
Yeah, people were saying that on Twitter, like, yo, that was mad long.
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna go by quicker, but like after that first ball dropped, a minute and a half, I knew Cam was gonna do it. Can't beast, man. Very clutch. Honestly, I feel like if it was Jared, after dropping that ball, Jared would have been too emotional, and he definitely would have just like been shaking and all that. So, man.
Yeah, based on what he did with that first competition that they had with him and Cameron, I think he definitely would have been emotional. I think that's really just his downfall overall. It's the fact that like he can't.
Very emotional guy, man. Like he has to keep his composure.
Down. Yeah, if he can keep his composure like his mom, then man, he'll be lethal in the game.
Oh my goodness,
and he would have been way further. But it's just impatientness, his ability to really just always be rattled in certain. I won't even say rattled because it's not like he's scared, but it's more of just like his temper kind of gets him. And it's not like he has a bad temper either, because I don't even want to paint him like that, because like the same way they did Davon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even want to paint him like that. It's more of just like I believe an internal thing of like, just he's so into the game that he's forgetting to relax and really think out situations.
I also think for Jared, I think something that probably hasn't been discussed, but I'm just kind of reading his energy, especially with his post interview with Julie. I think he placed a lot of pressure on himself to kind of live up to his mom's reputation. As far as like, I mean, I haven't seen some of the other things that she's played in. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of her, but I did actually just start watching a little bit of Traders, which is on the Peacock Network. And his mom is just that. She is amazing at strategy games and manipulating individuals, etc. So I think he came into this probably with a lot on his shoulders as far as like, man, I got to live up to her reputation. And he probably
don't want to do that.
Family might have looked at this as like, yes, Sari's going on this show, but since this is like a competition-based show with physical stuff, I think they might have looked at this as, hey, Jared, this is your alley-oop here. Like, your mom's going to come in, she might not win. Maybe they assume that Sari would be in this position that Jared's in, as far as like, okay, Sari got knocked out first, but Jared's doing his thing and he's going to blaze his way to the end. So I think the reason he was so emotional about this and the emotions will take over, I think he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to surpass his mom or be on her level in the game.
Maybe
turn this into something. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my personal read, but I think maybe that's what caused all the emotional outbursts that we saw.
Maybe. Wait, I got a question though. If you guys seen that competition, would you guys compete in it, or would you guys let the other person do it?
I'd compete.
I would have competed.
Yeah, all right, man.
I honestly thought the competition was going to be way harder than that.
Yeah.
And not to knock it, it wasn't like the easiest comp, but I just expected harder. So I would have definitely been like, nah, I'll put the fate in my hands.
2 minutes would have been perfect timing, though. Like, 2
and a half.
Yeah, 2 minutes would have been a lot better, even though he still would have had like 30 seconds on the clock if it was 2 minutes. But I think that would have been more challenging than 3 minutes. 3 minutes to do that was pretty chill.
Yeah. But let's get into the question we ask every single Thursday. Who do you feel is in the best position and the worst position? I'll go first. The best position I'd say is the Minutemen, man. Jag and Matt. I think them two, they have that onion layer with Cameron and Blue, like I previously discussed. They can go either way. They can swing towards America and Corey, or they can swing to Sari, Felicia, Nicole. They just have so many different options, and having Cameron at their disposal and having Blue at their disposal, they can really make waves and make moves and twist things the way they want to. They have all bases covered, including Sari, because Matt has a close relationship with Sari, as well as Blue knows Sari's secret, so she can always twist that arm if she wants to, and or use it just to her advantage.
I don't think she ever will.
She could just use it to her advantage anytime. Like, say, yo, I know your secret, build that trust, whatever. So Sari's covered. Felicia and Nicole, they're going to listen to whatever majority says, and they have 4 people, saying something, so Nicole's going to fall in line, and so is Felicia. Although Nicole is a type to not really, I could see Nicole making her own decisions, but she hasn't played this game hard enough to the point where she can convince people herself, So
he hasn't played this game much.
No matter what, she's going to fall in place, and then Bowie Jane's going to follow Cameron, so I just think it's bulletproof. So, yeah, I would say Jag and Corey are in the best position. Now, the worst position, I would say
Corey?
Huh?
Corey's in the best position?
No, I think he meant Jag. Yeah.
Oh. The Minutemen, my bad. There's so many names that it's just like my brain it switches so fast. But, in the worst position, I would say Sari, simply because she has to what happened?
She's repaired that, but you're not a feed watcher, so we'll let you slide.
I'm not a feed watcher, but I feel like the reason I'm choosing her to be in the worst position is because she has to rebuild those relationships. Because I watched every episode. I don't watch feeds that much, so I'm not really caught up on what she's doing or how much she's repaired. But it's Sari, so I'm confident that she's going to repair it very nicely. But the fact that she has to go through that means to me that she's in the worst position because no one else has to go through that. Cameron technically, but I see him repairing that way easier than Sari, because Sari has to repair it with him. Sari has to repair it has to make sure Jag is like really in sync with her. Has to rebuild it with Matt in a way, because Matt at the end of the day voted Jared out, and that was a close ally to her. Has to repair it with Felicia. Corey and America already don't like her, so she has to do some work there. Like, she just has to repair a lot of relationships that I feel like Cameron doesn't really as much. People will say he does, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Man, all right. So best and worst. I honestly have a tie for the best, and I have a tie for the worst. So best position every week is going to be Bowie Jane, man. Bowie Jane.
FBJ.
He has to be, because who on earth would waste a week on Bowie Jane?
That is facts.
That would be insane. All right, that would be David level from BB, I think 22. that would just be insane. So Bowie's protected this week. I think it's safe to say. And then I would say Matt and Jag, the Minutemen for sure. I feel like they're protected as well. They have the onion layer around them. They got Cam protecting them. They got Blue, Corey, America. I don't really see them being targeted this week unless they make like a terrible mistake, to be honest. Now, worst position, I'd probably say I'd say Corey in America, and Sari. I have three. Yeah, it's three best, three
Ah,
worst.
bro, that's like everyone, but you gotta choose one.
All right, yeah, you know what, yeah. Let me simplify it. I'll say Corey and Sari. Corey and Sari are in the worst position. Yeah, I don't really have too much on that because I don't really know. I haven't been too like focused on the feeds recently, so I just assume that the house sees them as the two biggest threats. But yeah,
All right, let me come in and clean it up a bit.
all right, bet.
I have to disagree with you guys about Matt. I mean, not Matt, Jag. I do believe that. Well, first, Bowie Jane, top position.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure.
Place the week on Bowie Jane, like no one.
Yeah,
So safest shit. But who's the top of the power structure? I got to give it to Matt and Matt alone. And here's why.
I could see that.
Jag is in a position. Let's not forget, Jag has been voted out this house before unanimously, 10-0. Okay. And I feel like, let's say anybody grows a brain here, right? Anybody grows a brain in the house and they're like, Matt and Jag are sitting pretty. They throw up those two or something goes left, it's Jag who will go home, not Matt. So Matt has set himself with a perfect onion alliance because even your top road dog is going to go home first, not you.
That is true.
So
Yeah,
Jag can include him in that power structure. The true person is Matt, because if it was like a either or situation, like, I don't care which of them goes home, just one of them, it'll be a little different. But it's seen as like Jag is more seen as a viable option, whereas Matt is like, nobody wants to do that. He's damn near up there with Bowie Jane practically at this point.
that's a bold statement, but
It's
The only
true,
thing that keeps him from being Bowie Jane status is they know he's a comp beast. He's a physically imposing person. But other
yeah,
than that, damn near FBJ. They don't want to put him up. Now let's go to the weakest position in the house. Weakest has got to be. I keep hearing you guys say Sari. No. Okay,
I know what you're gonna say.
Sari has lost her athletic arm to these people. These people saw Jared and Sari as a duo, but the reason they took Jared out first, other than him, annoying them and all that jazz, is because he's the one who can win comps. They look at Sari as she's not going to win no comps.
Yeah.
So she's not Bowie Jane status to them, but it's getting close to it because they just don't fear her in a competition level. So she's going to be able to strategically place herself in positions to get further. I'm not saying she's in the best position, but she's certainly not in the bottom. Who are in the bottom?
Cool.
I would say America and Corey, because I think finally, and it somehow took these people a long time to open their eyes, but I think finally people have realized, shit, man, that's a show dance. They are not gonna like take each other out. They're gonna take each other to the end no matter what. So why would you take them anywhere near the end together? Because that's going to be two people that are automatically going to be playing against you in a final 3, final 4, final 5 situation. They're playing for each other. And for you, the cast is dwindling at this point. I know we're not under 10 people yet, but I don't want to deal with anyone who's not going to take each other out and only going to play for each other when it gets close to the end. I'd be a fool to take them to the end. So I see that people are starting to wake up to that idea. We have, like, this episode, we've seen Matt peep Corey.
Yeah.
We're going to let it go long. And unless Corey somehow Casanovas his way out of this and starts to kiss up to everyone and all that, I think he's in the bottom along with America. And it's because they're together and
Corey's
they
gonna
can't
go
stop.
first, though.
Huh?
Corey's gonna go first though, if anything, obviously.
Oh, of course, we all know that the guy always goes first.
Yeah.
But America still down bottom with him because if you're gonna put him up, you're gonna put both of them up. So let's say Corey randomly wins a veto. America, you got to bite the bullet for your man because there ain't no way I put both of you up and now I'm gonna let both of you get off the block.
Yeah, no,
That's too
insane.
after.
That is insane.
Yeah.
So that's why I put America right down bottom with him.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna change mine. I'm gonna take out Suri and honestly Corey in America. You just brought up a valid point.
I'm still going Corey. I'm still going with Suri. Not Corey.
Nah,
No.
I don't see anybody really targeting Suri. She lost her muscle, man. I don't think anybody sees her as a comp
It truly
threat.
does depend on who wins the HOH, though. It truly depends.
Suri- So
Who
it's
do you see targeting Suri?
It's like
Corey in
practically like
America.
No.
Corey in America finished the job that they started.
I think Corey in America would go after Cameron, especially.
That's a possibility too.
Pardon my dog.
No, you're good. But yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like I could definitely see your point, but overall, I think Suri is gonna. I don't think she's gonna go, but like, I think she's in a position where she has to work out of more than other people. That's all I'm saying in terms of.
Nah, it's gonna be tricky, man. It's gonna be really, really interesting to see, man.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. Let us know who you guys have. Comment down below. Let us know. We'll be commenting back to every single comment. And yeah, man, we're gonna be reviewing every single episode of this season. So let us know what you
Yes,
think.
sir.
I saw that. hey, it happens. It happens, man. But yeah. Let us know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let us know. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be coming back to every single comment. You guys already know we're reviewing every
Yes,
single
sir.
episode of Big Brother. We are reality roommates, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.